The news from Gaza is heartbreaking. A fragile ceasefire meant to signal a return to normalcy lies in tatters. Tragically, a toddler is among the casualties of renewed violence. Two others, their lives also cut short, paint a grim picture of the escalating conflict. This isn't just about numbers. These are human beings, families torn apart by violence. The international community watches, often feeling helpless, as this conflict continues to claim innocent lives. The death of a child is a stark reminder of the true cost of war. It transcends politics and ideology, forcing us to confront the human suffering at the heart of this conflict. This toddler, full of life and potential, deserved a chance to grow, to play, to experience the world. Instead, their future was stolen, a casualty of a conflict they could not comprehend. The pain of their family is unimaginable, a raw and visceral reminder of the devastating impact of violence on innocent lives. Amidst the political posturing and diplomatic efforts, it's easy to lose sight of the individuals caught in the crossfire. But behind the headlines, behind the statistics, are real people with hopes, dreams, and families. The toddler's death, along with the two others, serves as a tragic reminder that this conflict is not just a distant news story, it's a lived reality for countless Palestinians and Israelis. As we grapple with the complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, it's imperative to remember the human cost. Every life lost represents a shattered family, a community in mourning, and a future denied. The toddler's death, a symbol of innocence lost, should serve as a wake-up call to the international community, a desperate plea for peace and a just resolution to this enduring conflict. The recent violence in Gaza represents a blatant violation of the ceasefire agreement. This agreement, painstakingly negotiated by international mediators, was meant to provide a much-needed respite from the violence. It was an opportunity for both sides to step back from the brink, to allow for humanitarian aid to reach those in need, and to begin the difficult task of rebuilding their shattered lives. The fragility of the ceasefire underscores the deep-seated mistrust and animosity that continues to plague the region. The hope that this agreement represented, the hope for a lasting peace, has been shattered by the recent violence. The international community, which invested significant diplomatic capital in securing the ceasefire, must now grapple with the consequences of its failure. The breakdown of the ceasefire agreement has dashed the hopes of many who saw it as a step towards a more peaceful future. It has also raised serious questions about the commitment of both sides to finding a lasting solution. The international community must now work to salvage what remains of the agreement and to hold accountable those responsible for its violation. The ceasefire, while imperfect, represented a glimmer of hope in a region often shrouded in darkness. Its collapse is a setback for peace and a stark reminder of the challenges that lie ahead. The international community must remain engaged, working tirelessly to bring both sides back to the negotiating table and to prevent further bloodshed. Adding to the anguish, the blockade of northern Gaza continues. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians are prevented from returning to their homes, their lives uprooted by the ongoing conflict. This blockade, in place for years, has created a humanitarian crisis, severely restricting the movement of people and goods. It has crippled the economy, limited access to essential services, and fueled a sense of despair among the Palestinian population. Imagine being forced from your home, unable to return, your life in limbo. This is the stark reality for countless Palestinians in northern Gaza. The blockade has turned their lives upside down, creating a cycle of displacement and suffering that has spanned generations. The international community has repeatedly called for an end to the blockade, recognizing the immense human cost it inflicts. Yet, it persists, a symbol of the complex political realities and entrenched positions that have hindered progress towards a resolution. The people of Gaza, caught in this geopolitical tug-of-war, are left to bear the brunt of this impasse. The continued blockade of northern Gaza is a stain on the conscience of the world. It is a collective failure to uphold the basic human rights of the Palestinian people. The international community must exert greater pressure to lift the blockade, to allow Palestinians to return to their homes, and to start rebuilding their lives. The situation in Gaza is a stark reminder of the importance of international law. The violation of the ceasefire agreement, the ongoing blockade, and the deaths of innocent civilians, including a toddler, raise serious concerns about the adherence to international humanitarian law. The principles of proportionality and distinction, cornerstones of international humanitarian law, appear to have been disregarded in this latest escalation. The targeting of civilians and civilian infrastructure is unacceptable and constitutes a grave breach of international law. The international community must conduct a thorough and impartial investigation into these alleged violations and hold those responsible accountable. The pursuit of peace in the region must be grounded in international law and a commitment to human rights. This includes ensuring the protection of civilians, upholding the rights of all people, and holding perpetrators of violence accountable for their actions. A just and lasting peace cannot be achieved through violence or the denial of fundamental rights. The path to peace in the region is arduous and complex, demanding unwavering commitment from all parties involved. The international community must remain steadfast in its support for a negotiated solution, one that upholds the dignity and rights of both Palestinians and Israelis. The alternative, a perpetual cycle of violence and despair, is simply unacceptable.